Coffee like always. I have my man here, Damien. I'll be introducing him soon. So today I'm bringing you a discussion or a topic right here with Damien on English in Accra. How easy is it for returnees to speak or communicate in Ghana? And I will be giving you some tips, about this topic right here. Let me introduce Damien, my man, to you right here. Returnees SAnkofa channel. Returnees SAnkofa channel. Please introduce yourself.
So my name is Damien. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, and I am a returnee here in Ghana.
Right. So on the Returnees channel, we are discussing today, how English in Accra. How easy is it for returnees to communicate in Accra when they are in Accra? And then what I noticed is that as a returnee to Accra, Ghana to be precise, you find that English is widely spoken, making communication relatively easy here. So let me quickly give a breakdown, and then I'll ask you some questions about challenges and then, how easily we're going to communicate. You've been in Ghana for a while now.
Sure.
Right. So let me quickly give a breakdown, about how easy it is right here in Ghana for the returnees to communicate. Well, as we all know, for those who don't know, in Ghana, English is the official language, one of the two official languages we have in Ghana right now, which is English. English precisely is an official language, which makes it more easier for the returnees to be able to communicate right here in Ghana. Well, aside English, we have a couple of languages here which are also listed as official, which we have the Ga, that's the Ga speaking language. We have the Chui. Chui is second to English, which is commonly widely spoken in Ghana. And then also we have the Ewe. The Ewes are from Far Volta, the Equatorians, and then few others. We'll just speak about few. So as I said early on, English is commonly used in businesses right here in Ghana, in education system, and then daily life. Everybody literally speaks English. You find people speaking English in all these regions, as per all the 16 regions. People from the northern region, south, east, west, and then from the coast as well. You find people who speak a bit of English, if not fluent, but people are able to express themselves in English. So Damien, now that you introduce yourself as a returnee, and you've been in Ghana, in Accra precisely for a couple of months, you are now a Ghanaian officially.
Officially, yes sir, officially.
So I'll be asking you, a few challenges, your experience in Ghana about, communication. How easy is it for you to communicate with the locals here in Ghana?
Well, like you said before, it is nice that the majority of the residents, if not all the residents, do predominantly speak English.
Right.
So that's definitely helpful. They speak English, some of them more fluently than others, but you'll find that for the most part, they'll understand what it is that you're asking them, and they'll be able to communicate with you on a limited basis.
Right.
Another thing that I love so much about the fact that English is one of the languages, the predominant language that they use in Ghana, is the signs that are everywhere that help you also. I remember once that I visited China, and an area in China where everything was written in their specific language, and it was just so difficult to navigate and to move around. It's not like that here in Ghana. You can find your way around using signs that are in English. If you go to restaurants, you can order your food easily because they understand what it is, and they can communicate with what it is that you want and what you need.
Right. Absolutely. So, do you have any challenges? Are there any challenges in communication or communicating with these locals?
Yeah, I would definitely say one of the biggest challenges is when you leave the major city of maybe Accra. If you leave Accra and you go into some of the rural areas that surround Accra, for whatever reason, that may be difficult for you because those are the areas where they don't speak English fluently, if they speak English at all. And they often, sometimes, it's confusing. It's very, very confusing to navigate your way through those areas. So I would definitely suggest, if you are to travel to one of those areas, if you want to experience one of those rural areas outside of Accra, you bring someone with you who is familiar with the area and who can help you navigate those areas, because as a returnee, it can be extremely difficult and challenging.
Right. And then also, now, there are advancing in technology. Do you think installing some of these apps that for example, as a Google Translate?
Of course, it will help tremendously, and I do use those particular apps. Download them, use them as much as possible. They will make your life very, very easy. Yes, right. Very much so.
All right, so you are written now. I always will say this thing. What tips do you have? Do you have some tips for returnees who are yet preparing to come, or even those who are here already?
First thing I would do was familiarize myself with some of the basic terms that are used in the language of trees, so you can, I don't want to say fit in more, but it'll make you feel more comfortable with the residents here, and them more comfortable with you. And I'm speaking of, simple phrases like a kwaba, welcome, things like that will definitely help you. Download those apps that we were talking about, those Google Translate apps. Right. Go out and explore. You're not going to learn anything if you're stationary and staying in the same spot. You want to go out, you want to explore. That's the best way that I learned. It's just going out. Sometimes you learn things the easy way. Sometimes you learn things the hard way. But you're not going to learn anything if you're not out there communicating and going around and learning what it's like to be a returnee in Ghana.
Right. Otherwise, you can hang around, some of these locals who actually speak these local languages.
Of course.
And then it's very easier to pick up some of these words.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's exactly what I did. Just go and sit. And go to a restaurant, even if you go by yourself, just go and sit and listen and watch how they communicate, and you'll notice that it'll begin to sink in a little bit, and you'll start to become more comfortable, and then as you become more comfortable, you'll even move around more freely. Your confidence level will raise, and you'll venture further out each day once you become more comfortable. But you have to be willing to want to learn and want to get out there.
So are there any local languages that you are familiar with yourself? For example, tree. Are there any tree words that you are familiar with?
Of course, yeah. I mentioned Akwaba. Akwaba, welcome. Etisane. Etisane. How are you? So
I like that.
Those are just a few, but there are more definitely that I also like to use. And just like I said, I'm obviously not fluent.
Right.
I couldn't sit and hold a conversation with you, but I can probably let you know that I want to, buy some tofu or some fantasies.
Right. So I know you've been around so many places. You've gone around so many places, and then you'll be the best, to advise returnees about the popular areas where, English speaking areas. I mean, where folks can go and then, be able to communicate both in Twi and in English. So there are areas I know you've been around, a couple of areas where you need to mention the returnees where they can handle, where people speak a lot of English and then a bit of Twi.
Yes, of course. The first one I would definitely have to start with would be Oxford Street. Head down to Oxford Street. Buy yourself some goods and services and some merchandise, and communicate well with some of the people down there. The Central Market, another place where you could go and definitely get some experience with communicating. East Legon is another wonderful place to go. They have a lot of bars and restaurants. It's a very, very nice area. Malls, where you can go and you can sit down and you can listen as a returnee. And by the airport region also has a lot of hotels and nice areas, restaurants as well, where you can go and you can learn and you can communicate as well. So I would start there and then continue to move out.
Right,
gain more confidence.
sure. So let me add one more place where you can find these fluent English speaking areas, whereas the speed test road. Of course, you can be at the speed test road also, and then it's easier in these places than the rural areas.
And what I was gonna say is just start in these places. Is what I was gonna say until you become more confident. Then venture out further as a returnee. I remember when I first came, I was also, before I could consider myself a returnee, I was extremely nervous. But I started in these places, specifically Oxford Street. And once I became more confident with Oxford Street, I started to gravitate and move more away from these comfortable areas and get out of my comfort zone. So
Absolutely.
I suggest that.
Absolutely right. This is always the Returnees SAnkofa channel. It's your man Coffee always. Damien, thank you for having you on this channel today. In fact, this is just one series that we are creating. We are coming up with more questions. I have a lot of questions for you. Since you have been here, you have more experience, and then now as a returnee, I'll be showing you more on this channel. I have a couple of questions for you after this video. Thank you always, Accra. My name, Coffee. Do you have any final words to the returnees?
I would just say that as a returnee, if you follow these tips and watch this video, you will certainly find that it's easy to communicate now as a returnee.
Right.
As long as you're willing to make the sacrifices and the steps to learn and to go out and understand, you'll be okay.
Right. Anyway, my name Coffee once again. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and then hit that button for more videos. Akwaba, Medasi.